All right, we are live. Good morning, everyone who is tuning in with us today. Um, my name is Marissa Safia, and welcome back to our Monday morning market report real estate segment. Today, we'll be diving into the thriving housing market in Orlando. But joining us today is our expert, Russ Wassendorf, a real estate agent, an analyst with 30 plus years of experience in the financial industry. So, Russ, thank you for being here with us today.
Marissa, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about talking about the Orlando housing market, especially today. I mean, there's some really interesting news out today.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. And those who are tuning in, just, chat with us in the comments, share this while you can. There will be a replay available as well. So let's just jump right into it. So, according to the Orlando Regional Realtor Association, the median home prices in Orlando have seen an increase from May 2023 to June 2023. In May, the median was about 378,000, but in June it rose to about 385,000. What can you tell us about this trend?
Well, it's definitely an interesting development. I mean, a 1.8% increase in 1 month is a pretty healthy increase.
Mm,
But this is not just an isolated moment. I mean, this is realistically even from June of last year until June of this year, we've actually seen an increase of 8.3% in the
mm.
median home sales prices, which is really pretty amazing to see in this type of market.
Yeah, that's surprising considering the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate that hit a new high with 6.81% this year, which is up by 1.5% from the previous year. So, how have these high mortgage rates affected the real estate market?
Well, definitely. I mean, with persistently high mortgage rates and the Federal Reserve's goal to control inflation, it's definitely had an impact on the real estate market in the nation as a whole. And the rates are really discouraging buyers to enter the market, and many of them feel locked in. They
Yeah.
locked into a 3%, and they don't want to lose that rate, right? And
Yeah.
so when you see this, reduction in both mortgage applications and new homes coming on the market, that's really the factor is that it's the reduction in supply, not so much the increase in demand. So that
Mm,
it's an interesting factor that's hitting the market.
yeah. So despite the high mortgage rates, what are the driving forces behind the rise in home prices, specifically in Orlando?
That's the real interesting part, right, for Orlando as a whole, because one significant factor contributing to the rising prices in Orlando is the migration factor. The
Mm,
migration factor, according to Redfin's data, there's been an influx of people coming from moving to Orlando from various cities. If you would, let me share kind of the top cities that are increasing
okay.
the migration rates. I mean, if I let me look at this here, the top people moving from or let me get this correct. In Redfin, they measure the data of the net searches of people looking to move to Orlando. So it doesn't necessarily mean they moved, but it's the
Okay.
search. So it's an indicator, but it's not 100% measure of
Right.
demand. So I want to point that out.
Right.
However, when you start looking at this, the net increases of searches, they come from New York. New York had a net increase of 2,425. Washington, D.C. had a net increase of 1,318.
Oh, wow.
Miami, Florida, right just 3 hours away from us down the street, um, had a net increase of 1,024 searches. Then you have Boston, Massachusetts,
Okay.
Chicago, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, and then Detroit. I mean, you're seeing a really big increase of at least people that are searching. Maybe they're just dreaming about moving, but it's
Yeah.
it definitely shows that there is a migration factor here, um,
Yeah.
that is happening in this market.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And actually not surprising because, you hear about these things when you have talks with people in the neighborhood or just at the store
Right.
about their family and friends that are doing these searches. So we see that the migration to Orlando seems to be a significant driving force.
Yeah, absolutely. The increased interest from individuals in metropolitan areas is definitely increasing the contributing to the demand in
Right.
housing in Orlando. And as
Mhm.
demand rises, so do prices.
Yeah. So, with all the factors in play, what can we expect for the future for Orlando, the housing market?
Well, given the current dynamics, I think we can expect to see continued growth, not
Mhm.
at as maybe as a fast of a pace, but definitely a continued growth in the market. That obviously the mortgage rates still continue to become a factor in that. The Fed's right now talking about potentially another raise in interest rates, so those are definitely factors affecting the market dynamics, but we should see a continued steady growth in the
Okay.
Orlando
Yeah.
area.
Well, thank you, Russ, for sharing your insights with us this morning, this Monday morning, and it was a pleasure to have you here today again.
Marissa, thank you so much for having me. It's just a pleasure talking about the trends that are going on in the Orlando housing market, and a pleasure to be here with you today.
Yes. So that wraps up our segment on the Orlando housing market. We want you all to stay tuned for more real estate news and insight. And like I said, please share this with those who are looking to come to the Orlando area or just curious about what's happening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See it. Thank you, Marissa.
Thank you.